Hey there, Captain Sid, Game Changer here. Okay, so having a little scanny. Just going to turn this volume down 1 second. Okay, so having a little scanny. Your first observations that I would give you are absolutely spot on, mate. If you look, there's no way I can spawn here without having a major trek to your base, which is going to give you time to get whatever's in your barracks up, whatever's in your war factory up and about. So that's absolutely excellent. I'd probably have a look at that. You've got Humvees and rocket buggies. I reckon you'd take them out quite easily. So maybe look to have some sort of tank in your war factory. It's really about causing the opponent trouble. I don't think. Well, if you imagine if you went into attack with just Humvees and rocket buggies, you're soon going to get taken out, aren't you? You'd normally put a tank in front of them, and I think it's the same with base defences. Really, you're really looking for something that's got some punch behind it. I'm not quite sure what you've got in your barracks there, but for me it'd be mortarmen would be what I would go with. So have a little look at what you're using there. Observation here that I would look at. So first thing first, fantastic. Look at the spawn zones, way out in the distance. That's excellent. Second observation is wherever I'm likely to spawn from, you've already started to put mines there. So that's absolutely excellent. So really good. So that's all your positives. The only downside I would say, I mean, for me, your planes fly, so putting them behind a wall doesn't really do anything. And for me, it's the same with helicopters as well. So I reckon, this is my tactic for yourself. I reckon I would come from probably this side here. I'd park a tank roughly where the number 4 is there, and that would get your howitzer and your salvo to lock onto that. Meanwhile, I'd send something else in, possibly from this angle here, past the mine, and take the salvo and howitzer out, and then I'm straight in at your war factory and your barracks. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's things over here, not even got a clue that I'm attacking you. It's just too distant. If it were me, what I would suggest doing is I would get your helicopter out of your base. I'd get your airport out of the base and bring these walls much tighter in, and also bring your turrets closer together. Because if I'm attacking this, I would want this covering it, and it's clearly not. Unless I attack from this middle, there's probably not really a couple of turrets that are gonna. Yeah, I mean, the middle you're probably slightly better covered. So if I'm attacking from this point, yeah, I'm probably going to get hit by both barrels. If I attack from this point, incidentally, which if I take that oil storage out of the way, then come in on this right hand side here, you've got one machine gun covering, and that is it. This salvo would be out of range. I can get in there, take out that one machine gun, take out your flak, and then you're quite vulnerable from this side. And again, this side doesn't even know it's happening. So you need to maybe have a little look at that. So a couple of things I would have a little look at. So positives, base layout, perimeter, absolutely spot on. Mine placement, nigh on, not bad at all. Maybe have that one a little bit more right just to cover this passage coming from this oil. You're not really, if you think logically, you're not really going to attack on the angle from here going that way, which is where you come in contact with a mine. You're more likely to start here and go that way, and then you'd probably get past the mine. So I'd have that mine a little bit further on. But that's the kind of stuff you need to be thinking about. You almost need to attack your own base in your head, which is very difficult, because we kind of imagine, I'll do this because I want them to do that. But typically the opponent will do what you don't want them to do, if that makes sense. So get the war factory inside the walls, get the barracks inside the walls, but anything that flies, end of the day, mate, it doesn't really do any good. I mean, I've got Zeus, I've got Humvees, anything that's flying probably isn't going to cause me any bother personally, and I always think other people are going to be in the same boat as well. So really trying to trying to, if you imagine, capture helicopters inside walls isn't really going to work, and it's the same with the plane. So them need to be outside the base, and that means you can miniaturize your base, and by doing that, you start to obviously bring all your turrets closer together, so one turret protect other turrets, etc. And if you try and rethink your wall, in a sense, the fact that you've got walls, you're trying to sort of encompass everything, but the things you need to encompass, if you will, are probably your war factory and your barracks, and then your turrets can actually sit outside the wall. That was counterintuitive, I get it, but by doing that, you can really reduce everything in size, so it's got a really minimum footprint. Because, as I said, if I come from here, which in fact my vehicles want, if I come from here, I'm going to take out this whole corner here before this lot even realises I've attacked it, and I think that's a weak spot. And same if I come from this side here, I've probably taken out most of this section here before this even knows I'm there, and that's really where I want you to have a little think. I keep annoying myself here. I'm going to show you my base, mate. It's I think if anybody else watches these videos, I'm obsessed with my own, but I'm just going to show you what I'm working on, just so you can see how it works. Okay, bro, so same sort of principle, perimeter really well spread out, making sure there's no gaps, no spawns. You've got that absolutely spot on. Again, we've got mines in similar places, so angles, you've got to be thinking angles, where they're going to come from. This is that new super turret I've invested in, so I'm thinking people are going to try and take that out. So I've got mines protecting the two approaches to that. And then meanwhile, if you tap that, behind the smoke, if you will, is the new peacemaker, which is going to again cover, people trying to attack that particular turret. So you can see that I've got helicopters outside. You can see I've got the airport outside. Now, for me, helicopters, they're not really going to do a great deal. People are going to take them out fairly quickly, I would expect. And if not, then you're daft, because you've got no air defense. Anybody who comes at you with a complete tank setup or something like that, and all the rest of it, it's obviously going to get spanked by the helicopters. But generally speaking, they've got snipers, they've got Zeus, they've got Humvees, they've got some anti helicopter sort of format. So for me, the helicopters aren't really going to do a great deal. So you know what? If they want to attack the helicopters before attacking something else, I'm okay with that. That's all good. And the spawn zone for your airport, I mean, chances are, even if you take your airport out, then the birds are already in the air anyway, dropping little bombs on people, aren't they? So the spawn on that is that quick that even if they take that out, then that's fine. But that's actually, mine's got quite a bit of health on it, so it's actually preventing people getting to my base. I mean, again, if they're going to come this way, mine's sugar, didn't want to move that. Mine's there to obviously get in the way a bit, because that's likely where you're going to sort of shoot from, especially with the new tank structure. Always be thinking the range of what you're expecting to get attacked by, or the average of what you're going to get attacked by. So people who have mines really close to walls, well, chances are you're going to fire a further distance, and they're not going to bother you. But it's this more condensed wall format, I think, is personally a good strategy. You've got to make sure that your vehicles have got time to come out. So if you look here, there's a gap in that wall, so that the whatever comes out, I've got Zeus and tanks, for example, doesn't sort of slip through the wall. So make sure they've got a little bit of a car park, if you want. It's same with the barracks. Make sure they've got a bit of a gap, so when they come out, they don't immediately get past the barrier and out, because I found that on my first sort of methods was a problem. So you can see from my turrets that everything's kind of trying to cover everything. If you naturally want to try and take the flak out there, then these two are going to hit you. If you're going to try and take that out, that's going to hit you. If you get too close, there'll be about 30-40 mortar men going to rain crap on you. That's got some degree of protection that way. But everything's trying to protect everything because the base is that small. Obviously important that the walls all touch, so anything that spawns out of my war factory in the barracks, you're probably already aware, will get trapped inside the wall. So then when you break the walls, everything spills out. But especially mortarmen that can fire over the walls, then obviously that's like having an extra turret. So yeah, just try and maybe have a think about condensing, come away from the walls as well, because I mean naturally you want to put turrets inside this area here, but what that does is it means that the spawn zone's quite close. What I'm aiming to do, and I think you've done similar, is have the base as much in the middle as I can get away with, so that there is no shortcut into your base. Because let's be fair, the sooner I can get into the base, the sooner I can start to take turrets out. The further I am away, the longer that I've got to deploy and spawn things from my war factory and my barracks. But also, the longer you're going to get fired at, the longer you're going to get shot at, the longer you're going to get howitzered at, if you will. You know, so you're going to take more damage. And you know, equally same sort of thought process with mines and the like. So yeah, I'm not saying do what I'm doing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I mean, the bizarrest thing is I haven't been attacked for that bloody long. You know, I can't really tell if my base is working. I guess it is because people aren't attacking it, but I would like obviously somebody to try and have a blast and see how they get on. I mean, even when I'm being nuked, I'm still kind of like surviving because obviously I've got three pretty strong fobs. So yeah, it would be interesting for somebody to go 1-to-1 toe-to-toe and see how the base stands out. But I think it should hopefully hold its own, apart from much stronger players than me. Okay, mate. So that's my initial thoughts for you. Have a little look, have a little tweak, see what you think, and then report back to us. And I'll do another assessment. And also, if you want to let your mates know that I'm there to help, and I'll do the same process with those guys, and we'll make the team stronger. Cheers, bro.